This is a video for the American market. Can I run a marathon with cancer, in aid of cancer, and can I do it while celebrating Thanksgiving dinner? Full thing. NFL, everything, the works. Yeah, you picked a good time for that. I could not have planned this, could I? Could I have trained a 4-month-old dog to do this? Female dog? Anyway, stage one of how I think I'm going to achieve this in the easiest way is to do a half marathon today and also to lose a bit of weight before Thursday. Today is Sunday. Time difference is going to make a difference. Whether I start this at the American time, which would be Wednesday for us, late Wednesday for us, depending on if it's Hawaii or if it's New York or if it's somewhere in between, and then, or do I do it off of our time? I don't know, because the whole purpose of this is, one, I've always wanted to celebrate Thanksgiving because it looks really fun. It's in loads of television, it's in loads of films. As an Irish person, like, there's always a strong connection with America. Like, we built half your shit, and I googled this the other day. Now that Biden has, well, I mean, there could be some issues with that, but if everything goes as it looks like it will, and Biden does become the president, that will mean he will be the 23rd president who has Irish, or who claims Irish descent, of 45. So that it was 22 to 44, meaning direct down the line 50-50, and now Biden, well, when he should get into office, that he'll put that over the line, so it'll be more than half of the American presidents claim Irish descent or have Irish descent discovered of them. Someone look back on it, probably some paddy. Anyway, so step one is going to be stepping onto this. You can't really see it there. But step one is going to be stepping onto this weighing scales. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna weigh myself. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it MMA style. So as few items of clothing as possible in order to get the most accurate as possible reading. So let's see what we get. Right, 92.5. Now, apart from another reason that I'm showing this is because I'm going to fast for 2 days. That's how I'm planning on losing. If you're going to lose enough weight for it to be significant for running a marathon that starts like a Sunday now, so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It might even start on Wednesday for me because time difference. If you're going to lose enough weight that's significant, you're going to have to do it in a bizarre way, and fasting is actually extremely good for you. I might explain that in another little video leading up to this, but it is undoubtedly extremely good for you. There's very few exceptions to how it's not. There's a load of research that has been based around this, mostly through Ramadan. So in Muslim religion, they do Ramadan, which is when the sun is up, they don't eat or drink. And then when the sun comes down, then they eat. So there's loads of information, whether people came in and was like, is this good for people? Is this bad for people? And they found out, and it is extremely good for people. So, the only way to lose a significant amount of weight, and it will be a significant amount of weight, is by just not eating for 2 days. I might be able to extend it to 3 days. We'll see how it goes. I don't want to go into this marathon unfed, because I'm just not going to be able to do it. I'll be too tired. I'll be too out of energy. So we're going to see. What we can do. Also, the reason that I'm doing this MMA has two reasons. Because it's a visual. You can clearly see. There's a bit of timber on me at the moment, and 2 days of fasting, especially when there's a half marathon that's involved in that. It's not going to be a small amount. So if ever anyone was looking at, hey, lose weight for before Christmas, lose weight after Christmas, lose weight during the summer, blah, 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 blah. If you really want to healthily put in a lot of effort and get a lot done in a short period of time, this is a way to do it. Anyone who says different has not done research. I know what I'm talking about, and I've actually done this sort of thing before in the past when I used to do judo and I used to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Fasting is not bad for you. Anyone who says different is an idiot or lacks willpower. One or the other. They're uneducated, they haven't done their research, or they just don't have the willpower to do it themselves, so they're gonna go, no, bro, blah, 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 blah. Or they're selling something. They're selling some juice, or they're buying some juice, and they think it's the best thing in the world, and they're hooked into that idea, and they haven't done research. That's the only reason. So, yes, half marathon, it's literally just to be burning calories. That's all. I'm not too worried about my fitness, because the way I'm going to be doing this marathon is I'm going to be going 1 mile, a little bit over 1 mile, every single hour during Thanksgiving, during the day. So, again, I don't know when I'm going to start, but if you are interested in doing that sort of thing and you want to help out with why I'm doing this, which is for a cancer research world record of breaking how much money has ever been raised for any charity, and I'm focusing mine on cancer research. I'm not going to see a benefit of it because that is going to take me out long before any of the benefits from the money that I will put towards cancer research will come into effect. But it's something good to leave behind, I think. That's why I'm doing it. So I'm only going to need to be running a little bit over 1 mile every hour during Thanksgiving, and I'll try to do it live as much as possible. So between those times, I'm going to be trying to be doing things that are productive in my day towards what both of the goals are. One, which is making a difficult dinner, a very thick and calorific dinner that I've never made before. So, like, you know, pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie, a turkey, a full turkey. Like, it's a day's effort. So I'm going to be running a little over 1 mile, which, because a marathon makes up 26.2 miles, so 24 hours in a day, a little bit over that makes up 26.2 miles. And then every time I come back, there'll be little things to do around the house, so I'm going to try and stay as active as possible, stay as productive as possible, taking care of the meal that's coming in. We've got some friends that are coming over, and we are going to, they really like the NFL, so they are going to be watching the NFL. They are in small pods. We all sort of have gotten into little COVID pods, so it's not illegal. It is just having 3 pods together. So once they're over and watching NFL, we're all going to be gambling on it and that sort of thing, just having little bets, little fun bets for the sake of it, making loads of food, eating loads of food, and it's going to be tricky, because while I want to eat the food, it's going to be a terrible idea to eat an entire sized meal in one sitting like a normal person would, because if I do that and then have to run 1 mile every hour, a little over 1 mile every hour, it's not a long distance, but it's going to be powerfully annoying. So again, if you are interested in seeing how this works out, which is probably going to go poorly, like and subscribe. I know everybody asked for this and it's cringy and I hate doing it, but it's what works. If you go onto what's in the web or in the description and see Cure Cancer or Die Trying, that's where you can donate, and that's what this is all about in the end. First of all, it's trying to get a large audience so that I can ask a wide amount of people, hey, give money! But that's the end result. That's what I'm trying to build up. So, most important thing is actually subscribing to the channel at this stage. It sounds weird, but in order to get a gigantic audience that can all give me a small amount of money each, I need to get a gigantic audience first. So, that's the most important thing you can do. If you can't afford to donate, that's okay. Subscribing, clicking on like on the videos, making little comments, giving advice on when I should start it would be a great one, because I don't know whether it's better to start at I live in London, so at the London time, which is 10 to 5 hours ahead of America, depending on what part. So is it better to start a 24-hour marathon? It's going to have to happen at, like, you know, if it starts at 9 a.m., it's going to end at 9 a.m. It's going to go the whole way around. So is it better to start a little bit in when Thanksgiving has started in America and then into ending in London? Because my friends, they're not that tight with this movement or this goal. They're just gonna come over when they're finished work. So I've got to tie that in. There's so many little factors like that. So if you have advice, please by all means ask questions and you shall receive answers, or give advice. I will be looking at it tightly. So step one is to get Sleepy here, get her out for a walk. Now, an odd thing about this pooch is that she loves a perambulation. Absolutely loves one, but hates the getting the gear on and actually just leaving the door. She hates that bit. Once out the door, wag, 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 wag. Her tail goes off like a metronome. It's just doof, doof, doof from side to side. But until that point, oh God, you're giving her some amount of torture. I quite like running this dog off the lead as much as possible. She's very good at keeping pace when off the lead. What? Look at her, look at her. There's no way she's cold. There's no way she's cold. It's warm in this room. You're such a spoofer. She's also good at recall. She's a very smart dog, but I don't think she has the best hearing. I also don't think she has the best eyesight. Her eyes are quite glassy, so I think she's partially sighted. And she also doesn't follow my finger, which is something that dogs do uniquely as a species as well as humans. We're quite used to it. But when you point, all other animals, chimps included, will look at the end of your finger, whereas dogs actually learn how to follow the direction of your finger, and she's struggling to do that. She should be old enough to do it at this stage. It's a natural thing. They also do the same thing with the eyes. It's quite amazing. If you look at something, a dog will look where you're looking. So it's quite cool what they do. But anyway, so she's not very good at that. So what I do is I've got a bag, elastic band. You can tell this gets use. And then that gets attached into her. And where I like to run her is where the other dogs aren't. And the best way to find where the other dogs will not be is to find where dog walkers will not be. And no one likes walking in mud. I'm not particularly hard or anything like that. No one likes walking in mud. So I'm actually going to have to go for this walk in these, they're not quite football boots, but you can kind of see them. They're not a million miles away. So let's get her out and let's have a go over and get a little bit of it in, and then I'll go back out on my own. She'll sleep, she'll get into her basket and she'll sleep, and I'll do the rest of the marathon. So this is going to be, it doesn't matter so much that I'll have a rest period in there. I'm not worried about getting a half marathon in and not doing it, in all one big go. I'm happy enough to just get the actual mileage in. That's what today's goals are. Like that, I should have recorded us coming out of the house. So she's there shaking Stevens, and then this is her 20 seconds from the door, 10 seconds from the door. And does that look like a dog that doesn't want to go for a perambulation? Huh? You're a spoof artist. Just thought I'd show. That's how she likes to do it. I'm going at a decent little canter here. So I'll take it up a notch. She's some Colleen, isn't she? Okay, so part one, we finished up. Great success. Too many dogs around for her to get off the lead, but she was fine on it. So hopefully she does this again. But straight after the walk, yeah, there you go. She wants for a shower. She actually enjoys a shower but only when she's mucky. She's a cleanly animal. Stop. I don't have time though, because I gotta go out. I gotta go out and do mad running. Not you, weak. You can't handle a half marathon. You ain't shit. You're only 4 months old. Right, so we got a little over 5 kilometers done there. one of the reasons why I am doing the stretching. This could actually be far more important than I'm making it out to be, but I always give stretching a bad reputation in my own head. I never do it enough, even though so much research everywhere says that it's incredibly important to do these dynamic stretches, which is where you touch off of it. It's sort of like if you can imagine you're squeezing something, you squeeze and let it off and squeeze and let it off. That's what dynamic stretching is, whereas static stretching would be where you squeeze something and then hold it there for as long as possible. So I'm sort of practicing what I preach. However, in all honesty, in there I still don't. It still feels like I should be out there running, that is more important than what I'm doing now, even though my hips when doing long distance do get very, very tight, especially the longer I do it. So I'll give it another 5 minutes of this, and the stretches that I'm going through here, you can probably see they're all based in and around the hips, sort of hip flexors in the inner groin, the very top of the hamstring, which starts just below your butt cheek, because those are the things that end up getting tightest with me personally anyway when running distance, especially the hip flexors. The hip flexors get incredibly tight. So, especially the hip flexors. The hip flexors get incredibly tight. So, the way you do your hip flexors, I may as well explain this now, is you get down into a lunge position. I think I might need to lower this slightly so you can see, or maybe change the angle a bit of me. So, like this. However, make sure that your upper body is not forward. You want to make sure that it's up very, very tall, and it's almost part of the exercise, is that you lean your shoulders back. You don't lean them back like this so that your belly goes forward. You lean the whole thing back, press back. You'll feel the difference in your hip instantly. And I'm going against what I've literally just explained, that I'm holding it. I'm doing a static stretch, whereas I should be doing something like this, which is a dynamic stretch. So back, pulling it, and now switch to the other side. Same thing, down, and tinker around with it, and you'll find that that sweet spot. So I think you get the idea of what I'm trying to do with this this stretching. So if you're still watching, I think I might move this subject matter on to how important it really is to share these videos around. Anything on the channel that you find is interesting or funny or whatever, especially if you think that it's a joke or something significant that your friends would get along with. It's something unique for you and your group of friends, or you and your family. Send the video to them. That's the most important thing, is spreading this whole message around, getting people onto this movement where they want to be a part of the audience, be a part of the community. That's the right term, actually. I've been fishing around for the right term. The community. If you want to be a part of this community where you're trying to, you're getting entertained, hopefully, and the price of that is that you throw a little bit of money every so often into the cancer fund. And you know what? It might end up benefiting you significantly. We're all very likely to get cancer. We're all extremely likely to get cancer. It's freakish if you look up the stats. It's like 1 in 3 men directly gets cancer themselves, and 1 in 2 women directly gets cancer themselves. And it's pretty much 100% that you will know someone you'll in your nuclear family, good friend of yours, girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband, someone will get cancer. Like, ask around. You probably have one of your parents already. Probably people will turn around and tell you, oh yeah, I had breast cancer, or I had that. I tested positive for that, so I got, X cut out, Y cut out. Oh yeah, I had inflammation of the prostate and they thought I had cancer. It turns out I had a very mild format of it and it got sorted out quickly. So that's why you never heard about it until now, because you're asking a question. But ask some people about their experience if they have had any. And then with that knowledge, know that the money that you would throw at any of the charitable donations that you can get off of Cure Cancer or DieTrying.com, go onto that website and you'll see the Just Giving pages. They're there. There are 4 different ones. They're all for cancer research. They're just in 4 different countries and 4 different currencies for whatever you would prefer. That's the only reason that I put separate curing cancer or cancer research charities up there. Now, ask members of your family if they've ever benefited from more knowledge from cancer research, and I think you'll always find that the answer has been yes in some way. Now, that's 5 minutes of blabbing. So now, if you haven't already and you've stayed watching this video and you've had the patience to do that, congratulations. But do make sure you're subscribing to this page. Make sure you drop a like to this page. Make sure you drop any kind of a comment. Information on when you think I should best start the marathon, the marathon day thing during Thanksgiving. That would be very helpful if you could do that, especially if you're American. And if you're an American, definitely share it with your mates. You, of all the people in the world, are the most important people at the moment, because this video is all based around you guys. And also, it's the money market that is probably the largest. There's what, 330 million English-speaking human beings, and you're all filthy, filthy rich. Oh, you got cash for days. And it is the audience that has been least reached out to, for obvious reasons. All my friends would be, I live in England and I'm from Ireland, so of course it's going to be them too. And then I have a couple of Australian friends as well, because I hung around with loads of Australians while living in London. They're a huge market, and in a weird way, foreigners, when you are a foreigner, it's a lot easier to, unless you were brought up in London, it's actually difficult to find English friends in London, because nothing against them, they already have their circle of friends. They already have their mates that they made in university or whatever, or in work, and they stuck with them, like all of us do, Dunbar's number and whatnot. But foreigners usually come over, they don't have that many friends, so they have their guard down, they want to make mates, so they're very quickly to be like, oh yeah, I'll fucking go for a drink for you on Friday, yeah, I'll do that. And especially if you join an AFL team. If you do that, you'll have many pints with many Australians. And many Kiwis as well. And they're always having house parties, because for the same reason, they want to make new mates. And when there's that sort of activity going on, it's very easy to make new mates. I'm sure if there was some Arabian countries, I know loads of English expats go over to Arabian countries, so I'm sure it's dead easy to make English friends over maybe Dubai and the United Arab Emirates. I think, yeah, Abu Dhabi. Those sorts of places, I reckon you'd find quite a lot of English friends. Right, anyway, that's enough of that. Hips have been loosened up. Like and subscribe. I hate asking that, but it works. It makes a huge difference. If you can't donate, spread this message around to as many people as you can. Get people on it. That's the way this is going to be successful. It's a lot of money to ask for, so I need to have a huge audience to ask it. You could be one of them. Even if you do not contribute yourself, you're still part of the audience, which attracts more of an audience. It's a... I can't remember what it's called, but it's the same thing with the way planets get larger when they are larger themselves. It's a gravitational pull mass.